guys.
Whoa.
That was so synchronized.
That was so synchronized.
Synchronized swimmers, am I right?
I did synchronized swimming. Do you remember
That's
when I
right,
did that?
you did.
I was in the 4th grade and it was at the rec center.
And you had a little swim cap.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. And a nose plug. And gogs. Okay.
That is so slay.
And so slay. And guess what we did our routine to?
What?
You Get the Best of Both Worlds by Hannah Montana.
Oh my gosh.
Bitch. Put some respect on my name.
Damn.
And we had cute little like purple like tutu things that we like dove into the water.
Meanwhile, me and mom are just swimming in the pool. Like what?
Yeah, you in your tiny orange swimsuit at like 2 years old.
Man, I could not even begin to challenge you.
Yeah, you couldn't.
Wow. To challenge you in that form.
Challenge
that
me
final
in the
boss
water.
form.
Just try it. I dare you.
I am the worst swimmer probably in the world. I never like officially learned how to swim, so you'd probably kick my ass.
I'm actually a really good swimmer.
I can
Like a really good swimmer.
I can like get across, I can get where I need to be, but
Yeah.
like
you won't drown, but
I won't drown, but I'm gonna say if I'm in like, you know, if I fall off the boat into like some whitewater rapids, you know,
you're gone.
I'm
I
gone.
mean, most people would be.
True.
But yeah, no, Paul and I are really good swimmers, but we took like years of swimming lessons because that's like what you did when we were growing up in Vegas. And like I don't think you spent enough time down there for it to like really be like a thing. So yeah, Paul's a really good swimmer and I'm a really good swimmer. So slay.
And props to you guys.
So if anybody wants to challenge me in a swim off, let me know. Guys, welcome back to So True. If you didn't know, now you do. Oh my gosh, that rhymes.
Is that new intro? New intro?
Yeah.
Let me know.
Let me know, new intro.
Guys, what do you think?
Guys, let us know in the chat.
Do you want that to
We
be
just
the new
pretend
intro?
that we're streamers now. Let us know in the chat. They're like, we can't. There is no chat.
Well, thanks for donating, guys.
Slay.
Thank you. Okay.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, welcome back to So True. Another week. I hope if you listened last week to our episode with our Aunt Melissa that you are just in awe of her like we are. I literally love her so much.
She's the best.
That
She
episode
really
was
is.
so good.
I know. I really liked it, and I'm so glad. Like, we've been wanting to do that episode for a long time.
So long.
And I'm so glad that we did it.
Yeah. Me too. I had my bestie Haley, who also listens every single week, and she always texts
Shout
me
out
and is like,
Haley.
So True. She's like, So True owns me. Like, I literally can't wait every single week. But she was like, she texted me after she listened and she goes, okay, I need an Aunt Melissa. And I was like,
literally.
there's plenty of Melissa to go around. Like,
So
just message her, book a foot zone with her, get her to do your astrology natal chart. She literally does an incredible job.
Yeah.
I just could not love her more, and it was so fun to have her on the podcast.
Like,
so
it's so fitting that she was our first guest, you know?
yeah,
Like, I just love that she'll forever be our first
I know.
podcast guest.
I love it too. And she had a great time, which made me so happy because I was so worried about asking her about her feeling like an obligation to do it. Like I really tried hard to like make it known to her that it was like, you absolutely do not have to do this. Like,
Yeah.
we would love for you to be on, but if you are not comfortable, like, please don't say yes just to like make us happy. And she
Right.
was so thrilled and so excited to do it, and it just made the episode so good. But
She was so articulate too. Like, not that she, like, I didn't expect her to be, but like, it's just, I don't know. She
just got everything across so perfectly and beautifully. And yeah, she's great. We love her. So glad she could come on. Any updates for this week for you personally?
I've been painting a dresser.
Oh yeah.
So basically, I think I can be a woodworker painter now.
You can be Picasso.
I can be Picasso. It's literally just chalk paint.
Like all you're doing is going like.
The funny thing is, I got out my sander. I was gonna sand off the varnish. I got maybe like 30 minutes in, and then I was like, I'm sick of this, and so I gave up. And so
Slay.
yeah, and so messy too. I'm like, maybe
What color are you painting it?
white.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because it'll go better in my room if it's white.
I think it'll be good. That's really pretty.
I even thought black would be kind of cool.
It's mom's dresser from like high school. It was our mom's dresser from high school.
You know what? I love it so much.
It's so pretty.
And she's like, I don't know what to do with it. I'm like, I want it.
Give it
please.
to me, please.
Can I have it? Okay.
Well, cool.
That's what I've been doing.
I've been working my life away this week. I literally counted it up. I worked like 52 hours this week.
Damn. Get that bag.
Get that bag. I know. I'm trying. Like I said, I started a new job a couple weeks ago. This was my last week of training, which is super great. So, yeah, but it's great. It's a great job. It's definitely an adjustment going from like just working on my own schedule and like just doing nails where like I'm my own boss. I'm in charge of how many hours I work every week, to now working like a 40-hour work week and then taking nail clients outside of those hours. Like, you know, after I'm done working my 8-hour shift, I'm then taking nail clients. So it is definitely an adjustment, but I'm super grateful, and it's great. I have 2 jobs now that I really enjoy, and anyway, so it's good.
Yeah, it's been crazy busy. I'm like, oh crap, like January's already gone.
I know.
I'm like, hello?
Isn't that nuts? Like next week February starts. I was like, okay, is this how the rest of 2024 is gonna go? Like,
who knows, man.
And then you're trying to be like social too, so it's like not just the things you have to do, but then it also like I'm trying to like date more, and like I'm trying to like make time for friends. So it's like
it's been a lot.
It's been a lot.
I felt a little bit like, how am I possibly gonna keep up? Like I felt a little bit burned out, even with the podcast. I'm like,
I know.
Like,
it's been nuts with the podcast.
I haven't been like making like reels or like promotional stuff. Like all I can really do is just get out an episode at this point, which is good because I'm glad that I can at least like stay consistent in that. But
yeah, I think it's like important to both of us, and we both want to continue doing it. So like we're trying to make time for it, and we'll continue to make time for it. But yeah, it's just felt crazy. I feel like
it's felt really
for everyone across the board, like everybody I talk to, my nail clients, friends, like everybody's like, January started and it was like the gun went off and everybody took off from the starting line.
That's exactly how it is. And I know like all my friends feel the same way too. Like it just feels like I have so many commitments, and you're like, wow, like,
where did this all come from?
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute, this is like hard.
Yeah, there was no easing into like the new year. I felt like it started and it started. Like it's just been like, even if it's not bad stuff, it's all good things. It's like, it's just been chaos. Like, for the last 2 weeks, I've had like something every single night. Like, I've worked all day.
Me too.
Either had nail clients or like something every single night of the week.
Yeah.
Even like Sunday. It's been crazy.
No, same. I'm like, I desperately need a day where I can just rot freely.
I know.
In my
I'm
bed.
Like, where is my rot day?
Where's my rot day?
I really don't get one, but it's okay.
It's alright, I guess.
It's alright. But yeah, I've been dating a lot this month, which has been good. I've already feel like I've learned like a ton of lessons about like just myself, and like that's like why dating is so good, is I feel like more than anything, like you learn so much about yourself. And
that's the thing, is like the best way to like, I think, learn how you behave is actually like seeing yourself through others a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And putting yourself in those situations. Like I've had to already have like a hard conversation. Like there is this guy, I mean, I'm sure it's fine to talk about. There's this guy that I had gone on like 3 dates with, and he was amazing. Like truly, like have only great things to say about him. Mm-hmm. Super mature, and fun, and like such a gentleman. Literally like did every single thing right. And for some reason, I just felt like it wasn't the right thing. Like it just was that little like your intuition, whatever you want to call it, like my own intuition, call it like Heavenly Father, whatever, speaking to me and just being like, this isn't right. This is a great option, and he's amazing and you're amazing, but this isn't like what is best and like what you should like go down. And I had to tell him, like, I basically had to tell him that for some reason I felt like it wasn't right, and that he was amazing, and I didn't want him to think he'd done anything wrong. And it was maybe a little bit early to say that, but at the end of our third date, he had told me that he really liked me and wanted to continue seeing me, and that was kind of like, I felt like I had to.
Well, yeah, it's better to break it off earlier.
That's what I think. I'm like, what's the point?
Than to keep like leading someone on.
Yeah, like I would hate.
And you don't want to
somebody.
ghost people either, because I feel like at 3 dates, you're pretty well acquainted with someone.
You can ghost if you've been on one date.
Yeah, I think
that is the cutoff. If you've been on more than one date, you have to say something.
Yeah, because then it's just rude. It's kind of disrespectful.
Yeah, and like I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me. So, and he was so great. Like he really deserved like for me to say like no. And yeah, I'm so careful with people's feelings. Like I never ever ever want to lead anybody on or act in a way that is disingenuous to the way I feel. Like the things that I say and the things that I do are exactly what I feel. And so
people will like take it a lot easier and be more appreciative when you are just straight up like that.
And he was so great. He was like, no worries at all. Like, I super appreciate you like telling me and being honest with me.
Yeah.
And it was great. Like I felt so bad simply for the reason that
no one wants to have that conversation.
Nobody wants to have the conversation. It sucks to be like, honestly, in some ways it sucks to be the one who rejects more than the one who gets rejected. And like also when you're like, okay, this person's amazing, like they check all these boxes, why don't I like why can't I get there? And it's like sometimes like they can do everything right and still not be right, like and so like I feel like I've already learned like some big lessons just in the few weeks of January where I've gotten back into dating. So it's good this year. I mean, knock on wood, I keep saying this, like knock on wood, but I have like really good feelings about this year, and I feel like there's gonna be just like a lot of great things and a lot of growth. So anyway,
I definitely feel that way too. I haven't really wanted to admit it to myself, but I've kind of been more open to the idea of like trying to date. I'm like not quite there yet, but I'm like I feel like that's a big sign of growing up, where like before I'm just not interested in the slightest. You could put a man right in front of me and be like, who is he? It's a wall. What is that? And then now it's like as you get older, you're like, oh, okay. And there's like ups and downs that comes with that. You're like, great, now I'm like more aware of it. Even like when you're like just out and about, you just notice the opposite gender more now, like at least with myself. So it's like there's good and bad. It's like that's a sign of growth that you're growing up. It had to happen eventually, but it's also very difficult in some ways because you're like, I'm still a baby and I don't know if I'm ready. But
I don't know if you ever stop feeling that way, honestly. Like I think we always kind of feel like babies in some like form or fashion,
but I think it is a sign that I've been thinking about it, that it may be time for me to just kind of dip my toes in. Yeah, totally. And like you said, it teaches you so many lessons. And like my word for this year was just like, one of my words was just like experience. Like I'm not putting any weight on anything, but I think it's good for me to like kind of go out of my comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, totally. And just take everything and be like, okay, that was an experience. Yeah. Like it doesn't like,
have to mean anything.
It doesn't have to be super heavy, but just kind of taking it in stride and being like, yep, cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's great.
That's kind of a big update for me as well.
Yeah, I love that. We also made vision boards on Sunday. So about a week ago, we made vision boards, which was fun because we kind of waited a couple weeks into the new year to do those. So that was kind of fun. Actually, Claire had made hers beforehand. I forgot about that.
But. My second one was just like a cute collage. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, guys.
But I'm super excited about it. Yeah. I love my vision board even more than my one last year. I started this last year. I made it on Canva, and then I set it as my screensaver for all of 2023. And so I did the same thing this year, made it on Canva. I actually even used like the same template, but just obviously different pictures and different words and stuff on it. And I love it even more this year than I did of my one last year. So Slay. I'm excited. It's now my new screensaver, and it will be my screensaver for all of 2024. So that's fun. Oh, also, I told him I would do this. Shout out to my friend Steve.
Steve, I've heard a lot about you.
We love Steve. Steve is my new work friend. Everybody thinks like we're in love, and we're like, no, we're just best friends. Yeah, so shout out to Steve. Shout out to his adorable girlfriend Deegan and their 2 cats, Rin and Blake. Yeah, Steve started listening last week. And he messaged me during work and was like, guess what I'm listening to? And I was like, I thought it was a song that I recommended to him. I was like, oh, are you listening to the song? And he's like, no. And I was like, oh shit, are you listening to the podcast? And he was like, yup. Like, so funny. I told him I'd give him a little shout out on the pod. Hi, Steve. Thanks for making work so much more bearable the last 3 weeks, or else training would have been so boring. So we love Steve.
You're hilarious, Steve.
Steve is hilarious. Steve is a goofy goober, and we are here for it. But yeah, I think that's kind of like the update. Yeah. Honestly, this week our topic is, I don't even know like how to describe it, but we're basically doing a deep dive, and Claire and I each picked a person to do a deep dive on, but like basically somebody with like kind of a crazy like come up or like a great comeback story, like
very inspirational person.
Yeah. So yeah, we each picked someone. I don't know who wants to go first. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, Claire's gonna go first. But Claire is
I'm doing Robert Downey Jr. Woo-hoo. And before that, I was kind of thinking of doing Johnny Cash.
Oh, that's a good one, too.
But I realized their stories are actually kind of similar.
Yeah.
They both struggled with substance abuse. Yeah. And they both, like, kind of turned it around in the end. And I think ended up living, like, a pretty good life.
That would have been crazy because I'm doing Shania Twain. So it would have been kind of funny if we had both picked country singers. But yeah. I'm really excited for you to do RDJ.
Yeah, and I think maybe people have already know like kind of his backstory, but I know that there's some things that maybe people don't know. If you guys have ever seen Walk the Line, like you'll get a big biography of Johnny Cash's life. Joaquin Phoenix plays him, and I love that movie.
I still haven't watched it. And
you need to. It is so good.
I know I'm gonna love it. But
yeah, it's amazing.
I don't really watch a lot of TV and movies lately. Like I just don't have the time.
Yeah, I don't have the time either. But yeah. So I paraphrased a few things, but most of this information is from an article by DreamLifeRecovery.com. So Robert Downey Jr. was born in New York City in 1965 to underground filmmaker Robert Downey Sr. and actress Elsie Downey. His father, unfortunately, also struggled with substance abuse and is pretty much the main reason Robert Downey Jr. later on struggled with it as well. His father introduced him to marijuana at a party when he was 8 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Literally so young. Like what?
Here, son,
have some Mary Jane. Anyway. In an interview with People magazine, Downey Jr. explained how doing drugs with his father became their way of bonding, and that this early exposure to drugs led Downey Jr. to spend most nights throughout his 20s and 30s getting drunk and scouting dealers. In the early 1980s, Robert Downey Jr. went to Hollywood to pursue an acting career. In 1985, he joined the cast on Saturday Night Live for a year before landing his first leading role in The Pickup Artist, and that's when his career started to pick up. So in 1987, Downey Jr. gave a stellar performance as a wealthy, troubled youth in the film Less Than Zero, followed by an unexpected triumph as Charlie Chaplin in Richard Attenborough's biopic Chaplin in 1992 that earned him an Oscar nomination. He continued starring in films even as his struggle with alcohol and drug use began to take hold of his life off the set. He was able to stay sober while working on a film for a period of time, but would soon fall off the wagon and begin using again, going on day-long benders. By 1995, he was smoking heroin and freebasing cocaine, leading to several arrests and stints in rehab facilities. In the summer of 1996, within the span of just a few weeks, Downey Jr. was arrested multiple times for bizarre and reckless drug-fueled behavior. This included one incident when police stopped him for speeding and found him not only intoxicated, but with heroin and cocaine on him, and an unloaded .356 Magnum in his passenger seat.
Oh my gosh.
Soon after, he was picked up by police again when he wandered into a neighbor's home and passed out in their son's bedroom.
Slay.
He's just tired, guys. Let him sleep.
Just needed a nap. In the race car bed.
In the Lightning McQueen race car bed, guys. Come on. For the next few years, Downey Jr. was in and out of rehab for addiction and state institutions throughout California. In 1999, he was sentenced to 36 months in state prison, where he spent 12 months serving time before being paroled. He was arrested 2 more times within 8 months before being sent to rehab for 6 months at Wavelengths International, one of many court-mandated addiction treatment centers he visited over the years. For Robert Downey Jr., this period of his life was what he calls his rock bottom, when he reached his lowest point of addiction and lost everything. His wife left him and took their son. He was fired from his acting job on the show Ally McBeal, and he was in massive debt and on the verge of bankruptcy. It was then that he decided it was time to face his addiction and begin recovery. In 2002, Robert Downey Jr. was making a comeback after his time in rehab and jumped back into his acting career with roles in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and the box office hit Zodiac. However, it was when he began his romance with film producer Susan Levin while working on the film, I don't know if this is how you pronounce it, Gothic, in 2003, that he fully committed to his recovery. They got married in 2005 and now have 2 children together. His commitment to recovering from addiction and regenerating his acting career led him to the greatest success yet, starring as Tony Stark in Marvel Studios' Iron Man and the Avengers film franchise. Yeah, so kind of short, but like I just think it's really inspiring that it kind of, I feel like a parallel between a lot of stories I've heard about people who are addicted to drugs. I really do think it takes them losing everything and like hitting rock bottom before they start to kind of reevaluate their life and seek recovery. Like I know like when things got really bad for Johnny Cash, he'd smuggled like drugs over the Mexican border and was like doing so bad. Like I think there was a point where he was like, I have to do better. And like I know Johnny Cash too said that for him it was believing in a higher power. And
I just like can't like imagine how crazy hard that would be, like being an addict. Like I've never, obviously I am not an addict, I never have been, but like how like it's a powerful thing, like, and how crazy hard that would be to like overcome that,
especially when your dad is on it, like kind of enabled you from such a young age. And like he said, he was like, it was kind of my way of bonding with my father. And like
he's such a cool guy.
I absolutely love him so much,
and just like mad respect to him for like owning it and cleaning himself up and like getting back out there. And now he's like everybody's fave, you know,
right?
Who doesn't love like Robert Downey Jr.?
Seriously,
you know? So
yeah,
yay, that was good. Okay, so Shania, love this queen. I have loved Shania like my entire life. Mom got me two Shania Twain CDs when I was in like the 1st grade, and we were living in the townhome that you were born in. And I would put them in my CD player and I would dance all around the kitchen. I'd dance all around my room. Paul hated Shania Twain, so he'd always like be like, turn it off, and like then he'd put his Usher CD on and do push-ups in the kitchen. But like I have loved Shania like literally my entire life. Like she just is the best. I got to go to her concert, what was it, last year, and she's just so great. I love her. She's an icon. So she has a crazy story. So Shania Twain started writing songs. Oh, and by the way, I got my information from biography.com and an article from The Guardian. But yeah, okay. So a music lover early on, Shania Twain started writing songs at age 10. Twain enjoyed success with her second album, The Woman in Me, 1995, before delivering the best-selling country album in history with Come On Over in 1997. Oh. Following a lengthy hiatus due to personal and health problems, Twain returned to the spotlight with a memoir in 2011 and embarked on a Las Vegas residency in 2012. She released her first album of original material in 15 years with 2017's Now, and made her feature film debut in 2019's Trading Pain. So that's kind of just like an overview. Okay, so in her early life, on August 28th, 1965, Eileen Regina Edwards, who would later change her name to Shania Twain, was born in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Did you say that RDJ was born in 65 too?
Oh yeah, 1965.
Crazy how they're both in 65. Anyway, she was born in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Her parents divorced when she was young, but her mother, Sharon, soon remarried to a man named Jerry Twain. Jerry adopted Sharon's 3 daughters, and the 4-year-old Eileen became Eileen Twain. Twain grew up in the small town of Timmins, located in Ontario. There, her family often struggled to make ends meet. Twain sometimes had nothing more than a poor man's sandwich, bread spread with mayonnaise or mustard, for lunch at school. Jerry, her stepdad, also had a violent streak, and Twain and her siblings witnessed him attack her mom, Sharon, on more than one occasion.
Oh, gosh.
But music was a bright spot in Twain's childhood. She was singing by the age of 3, playing the guitar at 8, and penning her own songs at 10. Sharon embraced her daughter's talent, making sacrifices the family could ill afford in order to get Twain to lessons and gigs. With her mother's encouragement, Twain grew up singing in clubs and at community events with occasional forays in television and radio. At 18, Shania Twain decided to try and make a go of her singing career in Toronto. She found work but didn't make enough to support herself without taking odd jobs, which included a stint at McDonald's. In 1987, however, Twain's life was upended when her parents died in a car crash.
Both of them? Oh my gosh.
So
I didn't know that.
She was granted custody of her 3 younger siblings.
Wow.
And
at what age? Do you know?
In 1987, so she was 21, 22.
Okay.
Yeah, so kind of crazy. So Twain returned to Timmins and took a job singing as part of a Las Vegas-style show at the nearby Deerhurst Resort in Huntsville, Ontario. However, Twain didn't give up on making her own music, and she continued to write songs in her free time. Her demo made it to Nashville, and she was subsequently signed to Polygram Records, which became Mercury Nashville. Her new label may have liked Twain's music, but they didn't care for the name Eileen Twain. As Twain wanted to keep her last name and to honor her adoptive father, she opted to change her first name instead to Shania. And so her stepdad was a part of the Ojibwe tribe, and Shania is an Ojibwe word that means I'm on my way, which is kind of cool.
That's interesting.
I didn't know that.
That makes sense because I was just about to ask, why did she choose that name?
Yes. So, encouraged to use songs written by others, Twain lamented her lack of artistic control in Nashville. Still, her first album, titled Shania Twain, was released in 1993. The album was not a big success, but it did reach one important fan, Robert John Mutt, is his nickname, Lang, who had produced albums for groups such as AC/DC, The Cars, and Def Leppard. After getting in touch with Twain, Lang set to work with her on her next album. Twain and Lang co-wrote 10 of the 12 tracks for Twain's next album, The Woman in Me, 1995. Twain loved the album, but given Lang's rock background and the record's forays into pop as well as country music, she was worried about how people would react. She needn't have been concerned. The first single, Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under, reached number 11 on the country charts. The follow-up single, the rock-infused Any Man of Mine, soared to number 1 on the country charts and was also a top 40 pop hit. Twain received her 4 Grammy nominations the following year and won Best Country Album. A critical and commercial success, The Woman in Me would reach eventually more than 12 million in U.S. sales.
Wow.
Come On Over, her next album, in 1997, another co-production with Lang, further infused country and pop. It also had more chart-topping songs, including pumped-up anthems such as Man, I Feel Like a Woman, and That Don't Impress Me Much, as well as romantic ballads such as You're Still the One and From This Moment On. In 1999, You're Still the One earned Twain 2 Grammys, one for Best Country Song and another for Best Female Country Vocal Performance. The song also reached number 1 on Billboard's country charts. The next year, Twain took home another 2 Grammys when Come On Over was named Best Country Song, and Man, I Feel Like a Woman won for Best Female Country Vocal Performance. Come On Over reigned at number 1 on the country charts for a combined 50 weeks. It became the best-selling country album of all time, reaching 40 million in worldwide sales, as well as a top-selling album by a solo female artist. With the success of Come On Over, followed by a popular tour, Twain became an international star. So, like, Little Lady is popping off. Like,
she's
I was
collecting
Claire,
Grammys, like they're Pokemon.
I was like, literally, I was telling Claire before we started recording, I'm like, she was kind of like the Taylor Swift of the 90s. Like, she fused a lot of like different, like, you know, pop and country and she kind of just was an icon. Like, people just loved her stuff, like, went crazy. Like, anyway, in 2002, Twain's album Up was released. I had Up, and then I think I had Come On Over. Those were the 2 albums I had.
That's so funny.
I think Up was like the CD was green, and then Come On Over, the CD was red. I can like distinctly remember them.
Christmas.
Yes. There were 3 versions of... Okay, in 2002, Twain's Up was released. There were 3 versions of the album. A pop red version, a country green disc, and a blue version that had an international Bollywood influenced flavor. What? Didn't know that. The red and green combination reached number 1 on Billboard's country and top 200 charts. The rest of the world got the red-blue pairing, which was also a success. However, sales dipped compared to Twain's previous monster hits, with 5.5 million copies sold in the United States. By 2004, Shania Twain had recorded enough material for her first compilation of greatest hits. It was released in the fall of that year. The album would top the charts and eventually go quadruple platinum.
Quadruple platinum?
Yeah. Isn't that nuts?
I can't even fathom that.
So crazy. Okay, so now we're kind of getting into her marriage and personal life, which is also kind of where her life goes like crazy. So she started from like nothing, literally nothing. Abusive stepfather. Her parents die when she's 21 and she has to like take care of her 3 younger siblings. Like, that's enough for anybody.
Oh, and actually, to clarify real quick, her abusive father wasn't the adoptive father, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Oh.
And
it's interesting that she...
Yes. Yeah, I know what you're saying, because like she kind of kept his last name to honor him.
Yeah.
And like, I think there was like a lot of complicated, like, as any relationship is, like a lot of complications.
Wasn't all black and
there.
white.
Yeah. I mean, obviously abuse is never okay, but actually, if you guys are interested, she did an episode with Dax Shepard like over a year ago.
I should listen to that.
And it was awesome. Like, and I didn't know like anything about her really before that, other than the fact that I loved her music. And she kind of talks more about it, obviously, and is like, it's complicated.
Right.
Like, anyway, so you should definitely go listen to her episode with Dax Shepard.
I should, because I've heard the name Shania Twain, but I literally don't know anything
You'll
about
love
her.
She's just a lovely person. Anyway, okay. So Twain's personal life seemed to take off alongside her career. After working with Lang over the phone for months, the pair finally met in person in June 1993. 6 months later, they were married. Hoping to find themselves greater privacy, Twain and Lang, I didn't realize that kind of rhyme, relocated to a luxurious Swiss estate. While living in Switzerland in 2001, Twain gave birth to a son, Asia. It's EJA, so it could be Eja, but I'm guessing it's Asia. D'Angelo Lang. Twain also struck up a friendship with Marie and Thibault, who worked as an assistant for the couple. In 2008, Twain and Lang separated, with Twain devastated to have discovered that her husband was having an affair with her best friend, Thibault.
No. Oh, I thought that was a boy.
No, Marie Ann.
Oh, yeah. I thought there were 2 different
people. She was their assistant and also like one of her best friends. Yeah. Twain and Lang's divorce was finalized 2 years later, but here's where it gets really good, okay? The separation and divorce were extremely difficult for Twain. Not only had her marriage ended, but she had lost someone who helped guide her career. Around this time, Twain began experiencing dysphonia, a tightening of the vocal muscles that made it difficult for her to sing.
No.
However, there was one person who could understand what Twain was experiencing. Friedrich, she calls him Fred, Thibault, Marie Ann's ex-husband. Twain and Friedrich grew closer, and the 2 wed on New Year's Day in 2011.
No way.
So, Shania freaking, oh my gosh.
It's like, I'm gonna swoop in and get your ex-husband.
It's so good. Like, it's so good. Like, the best, her assistant and, like, friend and her husband, like, had an affair. And then they got divorced. And then she gets with her assistant's ex-husband, who also was cheated on. Because, like...
So Marie probably cheated on
Yeah, Marie cheated on Frederick.
No.
And Robert Lang cheated on Shania. And then they got together. And then Shania and Friedrich or Fred got together. It
sounds like the cheaters get with the cheaters and the...
Yeah. And I think Marie Ann and Robert Lang are actually still together nowadays. No.
I love that.
But, like, I
don't love that, but...
Like, I love that Shania...
I love that Shania and Frederick. Yeah.
Yeah. Shania and Fred got together, and they're freaking adorable. And also, Fred is so much hotter than Robert
No,
Lang.
literally, because, like, why is that? It's like... No, it's so funny. It's almost like they just swapped. They're like, okay, yeah, cheaters belong with cheaters. People who get cheated on.
Bye. Yeah. Honestly, iconic. Yeah. So iconic. I love her. I love her for it. So good. Okay, return to the spotlight. Why Not, and Memoir. Fortunately for Twain's career and her fans, the singer was able to overcome her dysphonia. Some of her healing process could be seen in the television series Why Not with Shania Twain, which aired on the Oprah Winfrey Network in 2011. Twain also wrote a memoir, From This Moment On, which was published that May. Later the same year, she was inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. So Shania, because of like her dysphonia and everything, like she kind of disappeared for like 15 years. She was kind of just like done a little bit. Mm-hmm. In 2012, Twain stepped fully back into the public eye when she began a series of elaborate shows at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada. The production was titled Shania, Still the One, and was a highly successful attraction during its 2-year run. A live album of the show was released in March 2015. The performer later returned to Vegas in December 2019 for a residency at Planet Hollywood's Zappos Theater, this one titled Let's Go. Now, let's go. In 2015, Twain announced plans for a summer tour to take her through 48 cities. Meanwhile, she worked on new music with the release of the singles Life's About to Get Good and Singing with My Eyes Closed in mid-2017, heralding the arrival of her long-awaited comeback album. Twain unveiled Now, her first studio album of original songs since 2002's Up, in late September 2017. Although the material drew mixed reviews, Now topped the Billboard country charts and Hot 200 in the US and reached #1 in several other countries as well. So, and then she also she's written more music since then. I think this article is a little bit old. She did a tour last year and she's just like doing great things. She also, I feel like Harry Styles like loves her, loves Shania, and he is like done like different performances with her and stuff too. And anyway, it's really cool. She's awesome. I love that she's like back and doing her thing, and she looks amazing. Like she is stunning and has a rockin' bod, and she's like 50, let's see, like 56 or something like that. 58. Yeah, and she like looks amazing. When I went and saw her last year, she just like killed it with like her performance. And
she sounds like she just went through like so much adversity but didn't really let it like any of that bullshit drag her down, as cheesy as it sounds. Like she just kind of like kept like going through the motions and like pushing through. She like that's a crazy life. And I feel like especially like getting that huge that quickly, it seems like sometimes that takes a toll on people and it negatively affects them and, sends them into a spiral. But it just sounds like she was able to just kind of like take it in stride. And
Girlfriend is tough. Also, I wanted to show you. So this is Robert Lang, her first husband. Mm-hmm. Here's Fred.
Oh, yeah.
Way hotter.
Definitely.
Way hotter. Hello. Hello. Damn. He's so sexy. I'm like, go girl. Yeah, go girl,
cheaters,
get it.
You heard it here. Cheaters are ugly.
Cheaters are ugly.
And if they aren't ugly at first, they
are ugly quickly. When they cheat.
Yeah, they become ugly quick.
They're so ugly.
So if you don't want to get ugly, don't cheat.
Don't cheat. He's ugly.
He's so ugly.
Yeah, just don't do it. Don't do it. Or else, like, a girl like Shania, she's going to come back. She's going to marry somebody hotter. She's going to sell some more albums and hit multi-platinum. Like, sorry, bitch. Sorry.
Anyway. I love that she just ended up being even, like, more successful. I just feel like...
I know.
It's like that theory when they're like, people who get rejected or broken up with end up like that's like the best motivation for them to get hotter and like 1,000%. Better.
Yeah.
Like
it honestly is like maybe the best thing that could have happened to them.
Yeah, I love that.
She's such a queen. Look how cute she is.
Yeah, she's so pretty. She's got those like pretty almond eyes and
stunning.
Yeah.
Let me show you her in the 90s too. Cutest.
Can I say hot girl?
Seen. Yeah. That's her in the 90s.
Oh my gosh.
Look how cute she is.
She's so cute.
The cutest. Yeah, she's a queen. I love her. I've loved her forever. I'm so glad she's like kind of come back in recent years and is like going on tour and doing her thing. And yeah, she's amazing. So
yeah,
we love her. Go listen to her episode with Dax Shepard because it's so good.
And Robert Downey Jr. also has a great episode with Dax Shepard that you guys should also listen to. He talks more about like in depth. He kind of talks about his recovery too, and like his time in prison, and I thought it was just really interesting. So yeah.
Love it. Before we end, live your truth. What truth are you living in this week?
Oh no. Let's see.
I've got one.
Okay, you go.
Okay, I've got a truth. The truth I'm living in this week is that I have to have a fun bev in order to do literally anything.
Oh, same.
Like if I need a fun drink, like if I'm gonna get up in the morning, I need a fun drink to look forward to. So I always crack open my Celsius. If it's like the midday lull, I'm gonna crack open a Poppy or an Olipop. Like I need a fun beverage, or else I simply cannot be expected to function and go throughout the day.
Yeah.
Life's way too boring without if you don't have a fun bev.
For real.
So that's my truth.
My truth is if you're tired, you can skip early morning yoga class.
That's so true. Just give up.
Me and Mom, we're gonna go today. And my alarm went up at 8:30. And granted, whenever I have something in the morning, I sleep like dog shit. So I like had horrible sleep, and then my alarm went off, and I was like, "Oh man, I don't want to quit." And then I got a text from Mom, and she's like, "I don't think I can go." And I was like, "Sweet." And then like I turned it back around and went to sleep.
That's literally the best. So, that happened to me the other day. Actually, I was gonna get up and go to an early morning Pilates class, and I was like, I don't want to go, but I've already paid for it. Like I just need to get up and go. And then I got a text, and it was like, the class has been canceled.
Like, yeah.
So sorry. I was like, oh my gosh.
Like, no,
how unfortunate.
I was really looking forward to that. Goodbye.
Yeah. I got up before work and worked out 3 days this week. And then yesterday I took a rest day. And then today I was going to get up and work out. But then I got woken up like before my alarm clock went off, like an hour before. And I couldn't go back to sleep. And anyway, but I was still too tired to get up. So I didn't get up, but I did on my lunch hour. I did get on the treadmill. So I'm giving myself a pat on the back.
Oh, yeah. 4 days, 3 days. That's all you need.
Yeah. So anyways, cool. All right, guys. Remember, we have episodes every single Tuesday. Go back and listen to our episode with Melissa if you have not listened. Yeah. It's so good.
I honestly think that's one of our best episodes ever, if not the best.
If not the best. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a great week.
Live your truth.
And live your truth.
Goodbye.
Bye.